the new ban list. There's not really much, so this will be a really quick video. Nothing really big changed. First off, the newly forbidden cards. Dragon Ravine, Return from the Different Dimension, Self-Destruct button at 6 cents. Return from the Different Dimension at 6 cents, I totally saw that coming. Self-Destruct button. Going into a tie is really annoying and really trollishy. So, I can see why it's banned. It was a stupid card anyway. Dragon Ravine. I'm so glad that's out. I hate drag unities. They're so annoying to go against. Limited. All big dragons are down to 1. That really solves the problem. You can still make a deck out of just dragons, but it's gonna require like blue eyes and stuff like that. I don't know. I'll probably make one and show it just to show that you can still make it like that. But this is really going to get rid of Dragon Rulers as the top deck and diversify. I really want to see what cards are going to be at top now. It's still probably going to be Spellbooks, because all they did was hit Fate, and Mermails, because nothing really has consistency as those 3 decks. Even with all the dragons at 1, you can still probably make one, but it won't be anywhere near as good as it used to be, because they hit all the other support cards too. So we got Debris Dragon at 1, which really hurts the dragons, and I can see that because it's a one card Black Rose that blows up the field. Magician of Faith at 1. Don't even know why it's limited at all. It's not good. It's just going to open up some OTKs, but any cards that require you to flip aren't fast OTKs. Fast enough to be competitive. Unless I'm completely just spacing on some kind of magic card that you can bring back from the grave with Magician of Faith and reuse her effect over and over. Because it is easy to use her effect over and over. But I can't really see anything too crazy with her. Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. That card was already pretty crazy. It was already limited in the OCG, so this had a long time coming. Final Countdown limited. That's awesome, because Final Countdown decks are very annoying to go against. Because all they do is stall out for 20 turns. And it's not impossible to win against them, it's just a really, really slow duel that takes forever, and no one has fun. Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars at 1. They were trying to make sure no one would play a Dragon Ruler deck ever again. And Spellbook of Fate at 1. That's cool, because Spellbook of Fate is retardedly overpowered. That and the Spellbook Star Hole. I don't think that's the one. I think it's Grand Tower. The field spell card lets you have a second draw phase. You can still use that to recycle Spellbook of Fate, but usually Spellbook players would use 2 Fates and recycle both of them to always have one available. So that really slows them down, but still doesn't kill Spellbooks as a whole. As long as their field spell card allows them to have that second draw phase, they're still going to be good, even with just 1 Fate. Just not as good, because I usually use 2 Fates to recycle each other. Semi-limited, Chaos Sorcerer and Lone Fire. I'm not even sure why Chaos Sorcerer has any limitation on him at all. I mean, he is a good banish card, but that's it. He doesn't really do much like BLS does. And Lone Fire Blossom at 2. Lone Fire was really OP with all the new plants that have come out. I was actually hoping they wouldn't ban Lone Fire because of how good he is, and now he's at 2, so that's awesome. I'm gonna build some kind of plant deck to abuse the crap out of him. Unlimited Arch Lord Krista. It wasn't really a problem at 2, so now it's at 3, which is fine. Mizuki and Plague Spreader Zombie and TG Striker all at 3. Actually, TG Striker doesn't really have anything to do with Mizuki or Plague Spreader. Mizuki and Plague Spreader at 3, you don't really need 3 Plague Spreader zombies, but 3 Mizukis is amazing. That's really going to make zombies way more consistent. 3 TG Strikers, it's about time. TG Striker is really easy to bring out because there's a trap card that special summons them straight from the deck, which is awesome. Plus, there's a really good TG support card where you can switch your striker with one of your opponent's cards. So yay, finally TG decks are going to be a little bit more consistent, but not good enough. If their effects activated from just being sent from the field to the graveyard instead of being destroyed, then TGs would be crazy good, but as it is, they have to be destroyed, and most of them are all about tuning anyway, so you don't really get their second effects off all that often outside of a TG stun deck. Tour Guide of the Underworld at 3, I can see that. Tour Guide's really good, and at 3, I don't know. I can't really see anything else from that. Constellar M7 at 3 from 1. That's fine. It wasn't really doing anything anyway. Not even Constellar Dax used him at 3. Fire Formation Tenki at 3. Wasn't expecting that. It surges out so many good cards for so many good decks. And now it's at 3. Which is, I'm going to use that for a couple of deck ideas I've had that all revolve around Beast Warrior type monsters. Alright, so those are all the changes. The biggest one I like of the change is Lone Fire at 2. And to a lesser extent, Mizuki at 3, because I love zombie decks. And I'm glad dragons finally got hit. And spellbooks are still a thing with Fate. And spellbooks, well, with only one Fate, they won't be as annoying. And I'm so glad they killed Dragunities. I hate Dragunities. Dragunities and Infernities. I hate those two decks so much. It's basically just them playing with themselves, and they can be really good at it. Actually, Dragunities weren't really that great by themselves. Dragunity Dragon Rulers were good. They just took forever with their turn and it was annoying. Infernities are still annoying by themselves, but they're not really that great, as long as you can pop their back row